Good morning. It's a lovely sunny day in the winter week. Doesn't matter. I'm almost bald anyhow. Today we are doing a beautiful tour that takes you to the two tombs of Jesus. Actually, the way from one tomb to the other one. What do you mean two tombs of Jesus? We know only one. I mean, it can be two tombs. But yes, in the 19th century, part of the Church of England and Charles Gordon actually was standing here. They were looking for another option. Why another option? Alright, you saw me? Thank you. Bye-bye. Mainly because the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is at the Times Square of the city, surrounded with a wall. And we know that Jesus was crucified outside the wall and buried outside the wall and resurrected outside the wall. Then they looked for a place that could look like Calvary. The only thing that they didn't understand is that the wall that you see here is from the 16th century, and there was a wall in the 10th century, and the city of Jesus was 1st century. Then in that case, it's a little bit different. It's difficult to know exactly where was the location, and maybe the tomb of Jesus at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was outside the church, outside the gates at the time of Jesus. And of course, it wasn't the church. He wasn't buried in the church. The church was built only in the 4th century. We are dedicating that video to a beautiful couple, Patricia K. and Joseph, her husband K. And let me read you what she wrote me in front of the Golgotha of the garden tomb, the second option. And you can see people are sitting there. That's the Joseph of Arimathea garden according to the Church of England. And if you will stand here, you will see a little bit of the skull. Wait a minute. People are annoyed by the Palestinian East Jerusalem bus station or central bus station that are located next to it. But my answer to that is, if it's a central bus station, it means that it's kind of a center of the city, and a lot of people were there, maybe in the time of Jesus too. And remember, if they crucified him, then maybe it was a center or very important place that people actually went out and in. Then in that case, might be. But let me read a little bit. Then let's say like that. Please add me and my husband's name, which is me, Patricia, my husband Joseph. We are both disabled. Joseph is disabled in his whole entire back, and last year he had 2 strokes and was hospitalized both times for 6 months, both times. Then he was in a nursing home. Thank you, Jesus, he's home now, and very limited. And now a little bit about Patricia. I am also disabled in my lower back and sometimes hard to get around, but I do it for my husband's sake. She makes me cry when I heard that. This is love. This is love, and I'll say it again, this is love and love and love. And I'm begging all of you, the one who are watching that video, please pray for her. And if you can write something for Patricia and her husband Joseph, I will be more than happy. And I'm dedicating that cross for her. You can see the name Joseph is here in Hebrew and English, and Patricia, her family name, is a little bit difficult to then in that case she asked me to say Patricia K, Joseph K, instead of it. Then in front of you can see the moat of Jerusalem from the 10th century. They are now actually renovating the road. They excavated, and I took a video of it before that. Sadly, you cannot see the moat itself, but it was 10 meters wide, 30 feet wide, and quite deep. Then it was very difficult for the crusader to cross it. From here, you will be able to see the two domes of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Then I want you to understand that those two places are close to each other. Which one is the real one? Follow your heart. Watch my videos of it and of those two churches and decide. As the guy in the garden tomb, the second option, that one that we saw before, said, it doesn't matter for me. Pray here, pray there. The idea is more important than the place itself, and I accept it. Then you can see the two domes of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and we are heading there. And it's nice to understand how to do that. About the Jerusalem cross, it's a unique cross to the Holy Land. I mean, Jerusalem, but it became to be very important all over the Holy Land. Jerusalem is the center. You can see a little bit of dirt here, which is very difficult to find a cross like that. In most of the shops, there's only one place that I can buy it. And the first small crosses is whatever you want. 4 Gospels, 5 stigmatas altogether, Earth, Wind, Fire, America, Asia, Europe, name it. But the most important thing is that Jerusalem is the center. Damascus Gate, it's a sensitive area. We are very close to Ramadan time. You can see some 4 Israeli soldiers. Actually, not soldiers, they are military soldiers. They're 18, 19 years old. And in front of you, I'm trying to stay in the shade. You can see Damascus Gate. From 16th century, but soon you will see that they built it on the 2nd century Triumph Arch, and from Adrian time. It's the most beautiful gate. We have 8 gates of Jerusalem. 3 of them are in the northern part of the wall. The new gate is somewhere there on top of the hill. Yeah, and the flower gate is a little bit to the east, and we are now entering Damascus Gate. To enter a gate in Jerusalem is to enter, is all about the fear from enemies. And when you're entering to a gate, it won't be so easy. You cannot go straight. The sun is in our eyes. Sadly, that's what we have now. Oh, look how beautiful it is. Patricia, that's for you and your husband Joseph. And you can see now Adrian Triumph Arch, one of the arches right in front of you. And if you will enter to that museum, you will reach a 2nd century floor, which is beautiful. You can see that the lower part is from different times. It might be Rotunda stones, but the upper part is already from the 16th century. They decorated that place for Ramadan time. And let's enter the city from Damascus Gate. Usually it's a big market here, but it's the beginning of the day, then the shops, most of them are closed. Look at the Coca-Cola bottles. Nice, I believe it's kind of a yogurt. As you can see, we're turning left. Not only left, we will turn right to enter the city. Welcome to the old city of Jerusalem, Patricia and Joseph. I will take the shade part. The sun is in our eyes, now it's even better. Let me show you how the gate looks like from the other side. This is Damascus Gate. The Muslims call it Bab el-Amud. which is the gate of the column, the pillar, and in front of the triumph arch of Adrian, there was a pillar, on top of it the statue of Adrian. So nice to be here when they are opening the market. It's a beautiful market, a lot of fruit and vegetables, but the city is built on top of a 6th century city. If you look at the Madaba map video of mine, you will understand that when you're entering the Damascus Gate of today, here you will see two main roads, two corridors. The main corridor is right there, and the eastern corridor is to your left side. The eastern corridor will lead you to the western wall, Wailing Wall, or to the beginning of the Via Dolorosa. But we are now heading to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and we will do that through the main corridor. If you will excavate it, you will find a street from 2nd century and 6th century. They just open it, but this is an excellent falafel place. And if you like falafel and you don't want a tourist falafel, you want a local falafel, this is the beautiful option. Patricia, Joseph, we're still following the church. Let me talk a little bit about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. First of all, according to what the Christian believes, most of them, the path that I'm using now wasn't part of the city. And the church was out of the city, everyone knows it. Then you will see the entrance to the city according to the Christians, but we are now at outside the city, outside the walls at the time of Jesus. If you want to know it for sure, we have to excavate, to excavate beneath the Muslim quarter that we are now walking in, but I'm not sure that they will let us do that. Then, we're still walking with you, Patricia and Joseph. If you want to have your own cross, I have few options for that. Enter to buy me a coffee link. It's the description is beneath that. The link is at the description beneath the video, and you will be able to know how to do that. You can always tell me to visit other places. If I can, I will do that. Then we are walking in the main street from 2nd century. Remember, Jesus is 1st century. See lots of vendors, lots of shops. This is mostly for the local people, mostly Muslim. Not for tourists. Look at those kind of shops. There are 40,000 people who live here in the city. Oh, Fasumon, I love it. I love Fasumon. I'm trying to eat it at least once a day. And then the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was a quarry that King Herod built. Outside the city, a quarry is always outside the city. And then, after he died, people started to use it as a burial site. According to the Bible, part of it belonged to King Herod, but next to it, it was the garden of Joseph of Arimathea, who gave Jesus his own tomb. Then in that case, now you know that the crucifixion place and the tomb was next to each other. If you don't believe me, just read the book of John. I think John 9. And we reach part of the Via Dolorosa, and this is the 7th station. That's where Jesus fell for the 2nd time. And according to what we believe, that is the entrance of the city. Then in that case, as you can see, we are out of the city. We will enter in to bless the cross of Patricia. But meanwhile, I wanted to see 3 Franciscans monks. Then let's, okay. Boker Tov Neshama. And here it is, look how beautiful it is, and let's bless the cross at the place that Jesus fell for the second time. Via Dolorosa is the way that Jesus walked with his cross from the judgment place to the crucifixion place, and we are heading to the crucifixion place according to the church of, according to most of the Christians. Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And next to it, you can see the column from the main street, 2nd century column. Then, if we will continue there, we will enter to the city. We will go out of the city. So, we will enter to the city from the time of Jesus, and the rest of the Via Dolorosa station will be there. We are skipping the 8th station. You know what? We are not skipping it. Patricia, we are doing it for you and for Joseph. K. 8th station is about the women of Jerusalem. They were crying when they saw Jesus walking with the cross through the crucifixion place. And Jesus looked at them and said, "Oh, why are you crying now? I mean, soon you will have a reason to cry. That city will be destroyed." Then, here it is, 8th station of the cross. And this is Markovit, Nika. Victory and Ichthus, the name of Jesus, with each another option is a fish. And remember, the first symbol of Jesus, of Christianity, was a fish. Until the 4th century, the Romans didn't allow the Christians to believe in Jesus. It was a non-legal religion. In that case, a fish was the first symbol, not a cross. If someone saw a cross, immediately the Romans will crucify or kill him. It's so nice to see the main street empty. Then Jesus was crucified there on top of the Golgotha, Calvary, Golgotha, and the Romans destroyed that area and built a Roman temple there until St. Helen, the mother of Constantine, came to look for the evidence of Jesus, follow Jesus' footsteps, and she found Golgotha, she found the tomb, and so many other things, and then they built a church. I love that place because you can see a lot of hummus, halva, sesame sweets, and if you want to try something special in Jerusalem, this is a place. We are leaving the main street soon because I want us to climb together with Joseph and Patricia to the roof of the church. And how do you know it? It will be difficult to understand it, but one way to understand where are you is to look at that man, and he will always smile to you. He will always smile to you, see, and then buy from him something to drink, and then he will show you the way to the roof. Then Patricia, we are going to the roof. At the 4th century, the church started here. And one day, the owner of that, it used to be a bakery, if he will open it and renovate that place, people will pay a lot of money to see evidence from the 4th, 6th, and until, I think until 12th century. No, 4th and 6th century for sure. Then we're climbing up. I call it the cat square because many years ago the settlement used to throw the garbage here, and garbage always calls the cats to come. Today there's only one here. It's too early for them. Then, that was the Muslim quarter, and we are now entering to the Christian quarter. Guys, it's hot, and I'm wearing a sweater. It's hot. Can you believe it that blue skies will disappear tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be rainy here. Oh, there's a cat beneath the gate. And another one here. Oh, at least you saw 3 cats. Welcome to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Let me explain you, my dears, that that church belongs to almost everyone. Catholic, Roman Latin, of course, Greek Orthodox, and so many other Orthodox churches, and the Armenians. In that case, there are so many difficulties between the different denominations, because everyone wants the best place for themselves. For example, that used to be an Egyptian part, it's still, but behind the door, it used to be an Egyptian place too, but before that, it was Ethiopian, and somewhere in the 60s, the Egyptians went to the Jordan River, and when they came back, they saw that the Ethiopians took it back. Lots of problems. There is now a status quo from the British time, and the Christians are following that status quo. It's almost like a book until now. We are reaching the 9th station of the cross, my dear. And you can see the cross here. It's usually Catholic procession that actually goes from one station to another. And that's where Jesus fell for the 3rd time. Why the cross is here and he didn't enter with it to the church? Because the minute we will turn left, it's an Orthodox place and you cannot mix, or by the status quo cannot enter with a cross like that to the church, unless it's a special occasion like, let's say, the Good Friday procession, or even Friday processions. Then this belongs to the church or the Egyptian place. This is the Coptic Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem. Actually, it's North Africa, not only the Egyptian, but most of them are Egyptian. If you will turn right, you will be able to enter to a water cistern that I call it Queen Helena. They call it Queen Helena cistern. According to tradition, when they built the church, she dragged the water from there, and it's beautiful to see that the water are still there. Before that, it used to be a quarry. Then, if you will pay them 10 shekels, you will be able to see it. But we entered now to the Ethiopian part. The Ethiopian believe that they are a creation between Queen Shiva and King Solomon. Remember, Queen Shiva came to visit King Solomon, and then 9 months later, the first Ethiopian king was born. Melnik came to his father, and look at the crosses, graffiti crosses. Came to his father, King Solomon, and King Solomon gave him the 10 Commandments, the Ark of the Covenant. Then in that case, it is a problem. It's not a problem. They believe that the Ark is at the city of Aksum, Ethiopia. And I want to go there once, although I know that no one can enter to the church itself, but I want to be as close as I can to that tradition. Another beautiful thing that you can see here are 2 cats, but you can see kind of village. Oh, what's happening? someone is playing or hate each other. Then you can see here a beautiful Ethiopian village. And now we will enter through 2 Ethiopian churches. But before that, this beautiful place, which is totally empty now, is used to be at the 12th century a German Crusader dining room. You can see the Coptic patriarch. Beautiful place to visit. It's difficult to enter, but one day I will do that because I know that one of my followers, the one who actually part of my family, and you can be that too if you will. You know what? If you join to that YouTube channel, then he wants me to go there. I'm trying to find a solution for that. Now it's really close for tourists and even for me. To me, although they know me, the minute I will be able to do that, I will do that. I didn't forget what you asked me to do. Above it, you can see a renovation mainly of the Greek Orthodox. Then, let's go through 2 Ethiopian churches. The first Ethiopian church, you will see on the wall a painting of King Solomon and Queen Sheba. The church is divided into 2. The Holy of the Holy, just like the Jews are using the Holy of the temple, it is closed to everyone, even to most of the monks. Only the high priests can go in there, and the disciple places. You will see the disciple place. I love it. Then you are at the facade of the church. Lots of you already knows it, and you can see there are lots of tourists already. Then where should I stand? Let me stand there. Until now we didn't see a tourist. But that is the most important church in the world for 90% of the Christians. The facade, Patricia, Joseph, is only from the end of the 11th and beginning of the 12th century. The church is from the 4th century. Let's enter the church before they will, and let's climb up to the Calvary. It might be less crowded because in about an hour you won't be able to walk here. It's Lent time, I forgot to mention it. We're entering the church at Lent time. And let's climb up. This is the Calvary, the Golgotha. That's where Jesus was crucified. Here you can see where they strip him from his clothes. Another station of the Via Dolorosa. Here. Excuse me, please. Here. Sorry. You can see where they nail him to the cross. Another station on the Via Dolorosa. In the Catholic part, everything that you see here is new from the 19th century because it was burned down, except of that Jesus Ascension, mosaic wall. This is from 12th century Crusader time. Soon, I don't want to disturb the people. You will see Mary with the spear in her heart. This is actually represents the Pietà. When Mary was at the temple for the Jewish tradition of sorry, I didn't want to disturb people. He looked at me at the presentation of the temple. Mary been told that her son will die in front of her eyes. It will be like a spear entering into your heart. And you will see that. Let me bless that. Then you can see it just a moment, please. Mary with a spear in her heart. The Pietà. I'm just going there, not stepping. This is the Golgotha. You can see it, and I will talk about it later on, but I just wanted to bless it. And now I will go all the way around because I don't want to disturb anyone. I've already been at the tomb and at the Golgotha. I knew that it's going to be crowded, and I'm here from 6 a.m. But the video that I'm taking is I decided to do that from Damascus Gate, and as you can see, it's more crowded here. You can see the crucifixion, please. John and Mary, and Jesus is in the middle. See, is symbolist Jesus from Nazareth, the King of the Jews, and you can see the bedrock of the Golgotha, covered with a stone. Why? Because people like me want to take some souvenirs. And this is already the Greek Orthodox Chapel of the church. And let's leave the Calvary and let's continue to visit the next place. And here it is. We just came down from the crucifixion, and you can see that Greek Orthodox who built it in the 20th century, I think 1990. You can see that the city wall is outside the city. Golgotha, maybe, because it looked like a skull, you know, we saw at the beginning of the video, hill like a skull, the skull hill, remember, it looks like it. Or maybe because so many people crucified here, then you could see some skulls of it. One of them, according to the Greek Orthodox tradition, is of Joseph of Adam, from Adam and Eve. And later on, they purified his body just like they did it, just like every Jew is doing it until Israel. And he'd been buried in the same day. And the day, according to the Jews, begins and ends at sunset. Then, in that case, Jesus was buried around 3:30. They purified his body, they put a shroud around him, and straight to the tomb, without a casket, without coffin, just like every Jew in Israel is buried. This is the anointing table. That's where they anointed the body of Jesus. And for me, this is the most secret place of the church, because the naked body of Jesus touched it. Oh, the smell is amazing. Joseph, Patricia, Kate. No. Let's go to see the tomb itself. We already been there, but I couldn't take pictures. Still I cannot. Then I will explain you about it here. The line is not so long. It's of me, let's see, 40 minutes. The church is empty now. It's around 7 p.m. The tomb is divided into two. The angel chapel took care that no one will steal the body of Christ, and the tomb himself. The angel chapel, you will recognize it with the candlelight from the holy fire. Oh. Here it is. And the inner part is the tomb. Why the ladder is there? Because they're adding oil to the lamps. Then it's good for us because it was totally empty. Although it's not part of the 14th station, I'm adding the 15th station to here. That is where Mary Magdalene met Jesus after the resurrection on Sunday.
Shepard's a really strong Christian.
And they are going to renovate it soon. And it might be one of the last videos of that room as it is. And we just bless it there for you, Patricia and Joseph. Okay. And let me take you to see a very important tomb inside the church to show you that it used to be a cemetery area. Now the floor that you see here is made of wood because it took them hundreds of years to understand that they must renovate the floor. Then they already did it here, excavate. They didn't publish everything yet, and they will bring back the stones after they will, I don't know, do something with it. And it's supposed to be better. And let us enter to here. This is a part of the line. Excuse me, please. Thank you. Then what's that? First of all, let's look at the wall of the most important church. Pollution. Remember that has so many problems about who owns what, and this is one of the rooms. Is it owned by the Ethiopian who've been here, or maybe by the Church of Syria, or maybe by the Armenian? Until they figure out no one will deal with that room. Although I must say that they put some new floor repayment here. Why am I entering to that room? Because I can show you a few things here. One of them is the most ancient, first century tomb from the time of Jesus inside the church. It shows you that it used to be a church. For that I need to use the flashlight. Wait a minute, I think now I will be able to do that. What we can see here, we can see a few niches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and behind me there's another one. 3 of them are still sealed. Let's go outside and talk about it outside because it's a tomb and I don't like to be inside tombs, even if it's first century tomb. And this is so important. Jesus was buried in Joseph Arimathea tomb that no one used before. What do you mean by no one used before? You saw at least 5 niches to put the body there, and 3 of them are sealed. It means that maybe the bodies or the bones are still there. That is correct. That's how Jews used to, rich Jews used to be buried in a rock-cut cave. And the niches were to put the body. And let's see, if there are 5 niches here, what will happen in the 6th? A 6th body, there's no more space for him. They will open the tomb and they will take the bones out and they will bury someone else instead of it. But you saw the tomb of Jesus. That's supposed to be look like that, but he'd been destroyed so many times. Then Joseph of Arimathea gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before. Now we can understand it. That wall is 1st century wall. And it wasn't ugly like that. Then first of all, 4th century church wall, it's from the time of Queen Helena, first church ever, one of the first in the world. And you can see some holes to hold some marbles in it. But here you can see that they put a lot of, marble and good stones around it, because that was Joseph of Arimathea tomb in his own garden, and he gave Jesus his own tomb. Right there. And in that case, that was a virgin tomb. And Joseph of Arimathea had to build himself another tomb. Maybe Nactiminus was buried there too. Nice. Then that will be the end of the tour for you, Joseph, Patricia, and family name. And if you're still with me, please subscribe my channel and write something for Joseph and amazing Patricia. Thank you very much for being with me. See you in my next video. Bye bye.